Hi, Vigo County. I am Katie Shane, the Chief Communications Officer for the School Corporation. And I'm here with Dr. Balitewicz with Student Services Assistant Superintendent. And we are talking winter weather. So a lot of people are getting hyped up. We've seen the news where everybody's talking. They're going to flood the grocery stores pretty soon, talking about winter weather. And with the school corporation, that means lots of questions about delays, Katie, canceling school. And I think one of the biggest things people want to know is, other than asking if we're going to cancel school, is how is that decision made? And I know there's a lot of factors and a lot of people that go into those decisions. Tell people a little bit about it.
Yeah, first and foremost, Katie, what we center our decision on are the safety of our students. That's our number one decision when we look at whether or not we should have school. So we have a group of people that try to make this decision in a collective manner. We have bus drivers that go out and drive the roads.
They're called, you guys call them snowbirds,
We call
right?
them snowbirds. And they drive the roads along with a few other people. And then we make a recommendation based upon those driving conditions for our buses to the superintendent, and then the superintendent will ultimately make that decision. And if you think about it, Katie, we try and want to make this decision before everybody goes to bed that night.
Right, so we can all turn off the alarm and then get to the e-learning at a normal hour.
And ideally, we want to make that decision because we know that families have to make childcare arrangements. Mm-hmm. And so if we can make that decision before everybody goes to bed, we will make that decision before everybody goes to bed. But oftentimes, and as you know, that does not happen. And so we all go to bed knowing or thinking, oh, there's going to be a snowstorm or there's going to be an ice storm. Mm-hmm. And so what we'll do is we'll wake up about 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning and we'll start driving the roads, again, to make that recommendation to the superintendent, and he'll ultimately make that final call.
Well, there's one, it's a number one is student safety.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what is the in the back of your mind or the front of your mind at all times, how walkers, car riders, and the buses can transport our students safely.
And it starts with the buses, Katie, because we have about 8,000 students that ride our buses. And so it's incumbent upon us to make sure that those roads are safe for those buses. And we know if we could transport our students by bus, that we're going to have a successful day at school. For car riders, that's a decision that parents have to make, mm-hmm. knowing their children and knowing their driving habits. And they will make that decision if we have school, whether or not to allow their child to drive to school. And that's a personal family decision resting upon them to say, okay, my child in this inclement weather or can drive to school.
Sure.
And we respect that decision.
So when I started at the school corporation, I think I had just kind of in my mind that you guys get out and drive the roads and then make that decision, which is true. But there's a lot that goes into it. Talking to Jesse Walker, Kevin Erpert, the National Weather Service, and then the school corporation also has a weather service that works with you guys, and those are constant mm-hmm. conversations that you have days before.
Correct, and everybody knows that there's maybe some impending weather coming, right. And everybody's looking at different sources of information. We try to stick with very reliable sources of information. Our local television stations have excellent meteorologists, and also National Weather Service and our paid-for service that we have. And we source all that information and look at it long before this weather comes to start strategizing on how we want to handle the impending weather. One of the things that we don't want to happen, at least for us, is to rely on sources that we feel are a little bit more unreliable, like these snow maps.
On Facebook, right?
On Facebook, there are these snow maps and snowmageddon's happening and all these sorts of things, and very well could be happening. But we try to stick with the most reliable sources because we know when somebody sees a snow map and it's snowmageddon that the hype starts happening. So we try to stick with our most reliable sources.
And we try not to get hyped up, but if there is a delay or there is schools being canceled, obviously we try to get that out as soon as possible. If people have other questions about how those decisions are made, kind of some guidelines, you and our superintendent, Dr. Chris Himsel, put out some information. It can be found on our website. And then also there's some more information. We'll be putting that out pretty quickly as we can, the mornings, if there is snow or a delay. But all that is on our website. We just wanted to kind of tell people a little bit about snow, the delays, and how we do it at the school corporation.
And if I could just add one more point, because it's important. The state of Indiana has allotted us three e-learning days. And one of those days has already been allotted for the eclipse day, and that's on April the 8th. So we have 2 remaining days left. So we know we could have 2 e-learning days if we have inclement weather. Anything past those 3 days, we have to tack on at the end of the school year. So if we get to that 4th day, we know our school year is going to be 1 day longer.
Got it. So it is e-learning until we exhaust those days. Hopefully not. I do have one quick other question for you. Snow day, back in the day, or as a dad, what is your favorite part of a snow day?
I love sledding. That's one of my favorite things to do. My children I have 2 adult children and one that is still in school. So I'm hoping that if we do have a snow day, that you will see me at Deming Park on the hill and sledding there, and maybe even saying, hey, good job on the snow day.
You're safe, students. Now go sledding. Well, good. Well, Dr. B, thank you for kind of explaining this a little bit more. If people have more questions or concerns, go to our website and you can find all of the winter weather guidelines and criteria on there.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.